Lucky winners will draw for grand prizes, and 4 will win a cruise and a seat in the $1 million Wheel of Fortune Spin and Win slot tournament at sea. Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your night play out?
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. You're thinking of selling your current home? Let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. Boy, summer is flying by.
That it is, and while it's still here, we'll keep your rig in tip-top shape for the last few road trips of the season.
Being a AAA and ASC certified shop, I know you guys are well equipped to do just that.
Yes, sir. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs. So from oil changes, batteries, tires, to cooling systems and AC charges and repairs, and basically any automotive repair issue, we're your answer.
Nothing like one-stop shopping.
That's our goal. Plus, we carry over 50 brand name tires and have deals as good as anywhere. And simply the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle for most vehicles, including pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty as long as you own the rig.
And I'll say it again, that's one incredible brake deal.
It sure is. So come see us to keep living a happy and affordable motoring life.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, everybody. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASC certified automotive repair specialist. See AnytimeAnytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones discussed the Micah Parsons contract dispute on Michael Irvin's YouTube show, and here's what Jones said happened after he and Parsons agreed to the terms of an extension earlier this year.
When we wanted to send the details to the agents told us to stick it up our ass.
Wait. Now, see, I was
just so you're clear. Yeah, Mike and I talked. And then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already set. It's the mama-daddy deal.
Again, those words moments ago by Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on Michael Irvin's YouTube show. Guys, discuss away. Ow.
Wow.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. It is Thursday on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. How are you today? Hope you're doing good. I really do. Thanks for spending some time with us. We're out of the gate on a Thursday. It's a great day, and it's always a great day in South Dakota. Say it with me. We're back and ready. The Nate Brown Show is live. We're here on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Remember, you can stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. Saying hi to everybody there, so we appreciate that. Bring us up on X. Follow the show at Nate Brown Show, and you've got the show live every afternoon. Also, the YouTube channel is live right now. The Nate Brown Show. Find us on YouTube, stream us there, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. Good to go on a Thursday. Great day. Love this day. It's happy hour with Rob Keighron, our guest host every Thursday. If you've been catching this show, and we've been on across South Dakota now since October, you know Rob Keighron's a guy who's been really, really good throughout his career. He's a national radio host. He's been on a long time, and we've got him in South Dakota. He comes live in studio every Thursday, and we shoot it around. Quality stuff. Rob Keighron is in. It is Thursday happy hour. Coming up, second hour of the program tonight. A lot to get to with Rob Keighron, our guest host. He's on tap. Then we'll get into the guest lineup. This first hour, we're packed, and it looks really good. John Brice is going to join us, national college football writer, footballscoop.com. A big story out of college football just now, like an hour ago. This is a big story. I'm wondering what's next. Is the world going to end? Because I didn't think this would change, but they've changed it in college football. And what does this mean now moving forward? So John Brice is in tonight. We'll get to that. Footballscoop.com. The SEC making a change. I never thought these guys would budge. They're budging. John Brice on tap. It is a Lee Sterling Thursday. So Lee Sterling takes the spring off, the summer off, and then he's back on the radio circuit. We're lucky to get him, one of the better handicappers in the country. He joins us live tonight from Miami. Lee Sterling is back from Paramount Sports. He will break down Kansas State, Iowa State. So we'll do that for week 0. And then he's got some Big Ten overrated, underrated teams. That's the way Lee's going to go today. So don't miss that segment. Coming up, Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports on tonight. This is an interesting one. Our first guest tonight, Jim O'Day. He's the former athletic director at the University of Montana. He's been in a lot of discussions. He knows where the FCS was, and he has some thoughts on where it's going. We had some big news break here on this program with some conversation that we had with Tom Berman, University of Wyoming AD. That was a couple of days ago. It's still reverberating. I mean, this thing has went wild. It's been picked up by national media. Really interesting stuff. Tom Berman's discussion from Wyoming of what he sees down the road for some of the top-tier FCS schools. And so I want Jim O'Day's thoughts. Jim O'Day, former AD for the Montana Grizzlies. He is coming up to kick off the show. So good stuff. We've got it for you. Thought-provoking sports talk. We're not just going to mess around here and, talk about Jerry Jones on the Michael Irvin YouTube show. By the way, I just heard that update. Jerry Jones talking about Micah Parsons' contract on the Michael Irvin YouTube show. Is it just me, or is that probably not the best idea? I'm just Michael Irvin's YouTube show, probably a little loose, and we're going to throw Jerry into Michael Irvin's YouTube show? Oh, boy, what could go wrong? Anyway, just come on the Nate Brown Show. We'll keep it clean. We'll keep it professional. Hey, let's get you on if you want in. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline is open, as always, 605-720-1067. Some good calls this week, so we'll get you on tonight. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067, the direct line into the program. It is powered by the Pizza Ranch, our great partners across the state. They're at East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, also a location in Brandon. Stop by tonight. 2 locations in Rapid City. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. They're big community sports supporters, home of everyone's favorite buffet. And the Barron's Wilson text line open and ready, 605-720-1067. Want to get that housekeeping in order? So there's the number. You can text the show directly, 605-720-1067. That is the Barron's Wilson listener text line. Okay, let's cover this in South Dakota. So today, we found out what South Dakota Public Broadcasting is going to do. So I've followed this story over the past year on this show. And you'd say, wait a second, why are you interested in this? Well, there's two things. And I think the audience is interested too. And I think that proved out today by what we found out. But why have I covered this SDPB story of, are they going to cut? Are they going to get cut? Are they going to cut high school sports? South Dakota Public Broadcasting has covered high school sports in the state over 20 years, right? I mean, South Dakota Public Broadcasting has done the state title games at the Dome, the fine arts activities, all of these state tournaments, and I believe they've done it with excellence. I've said that. I think we're lucky to have it. I really believe that. And then I've got some family visiting from Montana today, and it just it makes me believe it even more because I was talking about this story. Well, SDPB is going to face some cuts. I wonder what they're going to do with their sports coverage. And my family visiting from Montana, they have good Montana Public Broadcasting. It's fine. They don't cover sports at all. Like they don't do any of that. And I'm here to tell you, sports is emotional. It's connecting communities. It's passion. And I believe the sports coverage that SDPB has provided has been really good and really important for our schools and our fans and the community and the rural communities. I think the sports thing has been huge. And I think the sports thing, I said this early on when this story was just getting going. Are they going to cut? How are they going to deal with these budget deficits and stuff like this? I said, sports is the thing you cannot get rid of. I know there's a lot of important things and a lot of important people. Educational programs and local staff and shows that focus on South Dakota and history and all of that stuff. All of that's important. I don't know how SDPB's had to make the impossible choices of, hey, what do we cut? What do we get rid of? But I've always said the sports coverage they provided with the high school championships has been second to none, and they should not get rid of that. The legislature in this state finally listened, and the legislature was thinking about, hey, should we follow the governor's budget? Should we cut South Dakota Public Broadcasting? And then I think many of you said, no, don't get rid of the sports coverage. This has been outstanding. Kind of echoing what I've been saying here. We all agree with this. The sports coverage of high school sports is more than just a game. It's really good stuff featuring our local athletes and helping our community stay tied in to follow the coverage and have the passion in the town and the school. And I think that's been all really good. And SDPB has done an outstanding job of it. So the legislature said, no, we're not going to cut it. But then the national side came and the federal government came. And so that's where we're at today. If you follow this story, where we're at today is, what is South Dakota Public Broadcasting going to do with the federal cut? This is going to be a 25% reduction. I mean, this is a big deal, over $2 million in the budget. You can't just cut $2 million and hope it works. So SDPB had a press conference today. I watched it. Stream went down for a while, but I watched a lot of this, and the headlines I've got for you today. Even with the federal cuts and SDPB having to tighten it up really tight and actually having to get rid of staff. I mean, they're firing staff. The federal budget's going to run out in October. So they're making the hard decisions. They have prioritized the sports coverage and the South Dakota High School Athletic Championships and fine arts coverage. So by all accounts, as I've seen this today, they're going to keep all of the sports coverage that they have. That's not just the state championships, but that's what everybody kind of follows and watches the most. And the Dome in November and in March with the state basketball tournaments and wrestling in February. So they are going to keep the sports department together is how it looks to me. And to me, as a sports guy, and you might say, wait, are you a competitor with this? I mean, you cover high school stuff. Are you a competitor? I've never believed in we have to be competitors. Whether it's SDPB, me, or anybody. How about the more coverage, the more content, the more interest? It's the whole story of it raises everybody, I think. The more interest in high school sports, the more coverage, the more professional quality content for high school sports, that only helps shows like this. I want to stay dialed in. I want to have these guys on. I want to keep the audience engaged. So I think this is a good thing that SDPB, and I'm happy for the folks over there. I know a few of them in the sports side of things. I want to say I'm happy for those guys keeping on board, not on the chopping block, and staying with the sports coverage. So SDPB leadership, they saw one thing, and I saw it a while ago, and I was hoping they did, how important the sports coverage is and what people love. I know people say, well, why would you keep sports? People, why would you keep sports and you'd have to get rid of this and this and this? I have the answer, and they had the answer today. The high school sports is the most viewed thing on SDPB. So people like kind of arguing against sports that aren't in the sports business and the sports category. You guys don't get it. There's important programs. It's great. It's just like universities. There's important programs. There's important classes. There's all of this. I understand the research and all. I do. Sports is the front porch. Sports is the emotional connection. Sports brings in the viewers. And that's why SDPB decided we're going to keep the sports programming. We're going to keep the government access so people can watch the legislative session. And the other cuts are going to be tough. And I'm not downplaying the shows, the programs, the educational stuff. That's all important. This is a bad deal all the way around. I mean, I just want everybody to know this isn't like a big win for SDPB. They lost. They kept sports as a priority. I think it's smart from a business side because they're like, hey, this is what feeds the Bulldog. This is what people engage with us in the most. Let's keep this going. So I hope that we can keep SDPB sports coverage at a really high level. I hope the budget cuts don't impact that down the road. And let me ask you this question of the day on the Nate Brown Show. I'm just curious because the CEO of SDPB said, you know, if there was just some more donations, like this is publicly supported, right? Friends of SDPB, and they raise money and they do underwriting. That's like advertising for the nonprofit side. So if she said if there was just like 1% of South Dakota made a donation, we would be in good shape. So let me ask you this as this moves forward. They're gonna hold with their sports coverage, and SDPB is going to keep everything going as far as the sports side of this. So that's good. What if that ever got on the chopping block? Would you make a donation to save that high school sports coverage statewide? I'm just curious about it because the CEO said that today in a press conference. Hey, if there was just, you know, a small percentage, just 1%, I think she said, just 1% of South Dakotans, if they made a donation, I don't know what that amount is, if they made a donation and supported our coverage, we would be able to keep everything, essentially. We'd be able to close the gap instead of the federal cut of national public radio and public broadcasting. That federal cut's going to be tough. It's not going to impact the sports side yet, but what if it did down the road? That's my question of the day tonight. 605-720-1067. If sports coverage was ever on the chopping block at SDPB, would you be willing to make a donation to save it? The high school sports coverage at the Dome, the state tournaments, the whole thing. It's an annual tradition for me, man. I settle in, I watch these games, and all of you do. I mean, all of you do. This has been an ongoing thing for a long time. I wonder how much passion you would have. They said, hey, they sent you a thing. Here's a bill. $25 donation. We need it to save high school sports. Would you do that? To me, that's an easy play. And I'm in the commercial media business. Yes, I'm selling the sponsorships. I'm keeping things, you know, I'm doing all that. But to me, there is a spot for that. There's an important spot for our communities in the state and the state coverage that's been good on the sports side. I would make that donation. We make donations for all sorts of stuff. I give money for all sorts of stuff. I think I would do it to SDPB to save sports. Would you? Question of the day. You tell me. 605-720-1067. Sports prioritized at SDPB because they said it's their number one viewership. Number one thing that brings in the viewers at SDPB. So cuts are being made. They're getting hit hard. The sports side saved for now. What if you needed to make a donation? Would you help save it? Question of the day, 605-720-1067. Give me your read on this. On Twitter, I put the question up. Here's the early responses. 71% of you say, yes, I would support it with a donation to save sports coverage if it ever got on the chopping block at SDPB. 29% of you say, no, they could handle it in different ways. They could handle it in different ways. 71% of you are with me. I would make the donation. Good luck to these guys. I hope the South Dakota Public Broadcasting side of things can keep moving forward, because whenever you get chopped is a big, big cut. I'd hate to see more things impacted down the road. Sports for now is on, and it sounds like that's one of their priorities. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, we're going to go to the University of Montana former athletic director. This is a good discussion to be had with Jim O'Day. What does he think about the new conversation about, hey, there really might be a split with the big boys in college football? What does that mean for, like, the Montana Grizzlies and these other top-tier programs? He's a former AD, so he's been in this thing. Now he's out of it. And I think he can talk openly. Jim O'Day, former AD at Montana, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterPark.com.
The place that sells the best new cars and trucks is the place you'll find the best used cars and trucks. That place is Danny Meno Toyota. Shop better quality import and domestic models. Buy with no down and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, buy Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 5.49% APR for up to 60 months. See us at Danny Meno Toyota or DannyMenoToyota.com. 1910 for 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit. Expires 9/2/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for storms this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Daytime highs approaching 85. North winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance for storms tonight. Lows dip down to about 61. Overcast skies. Cloudy skies tomorrow. Thunderstorms likely. Daytime highs approaching 79. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 82 degrees.
Are you searching for your next vehicle? At Spearfish Motors, we've got trucks and SUVs in every price range, from budget-friendly to like-new luxury. We've got the selection you want at the price that can't be beat. Heavy-duty diesels, light-duty pickups, roomy family SUVs, all locally sourced and all priced below market. Click, call, or come by SpearfishMotors.com.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome in. We're just getting going on a Thursday. Thought-provoking sports talk for South Dakota and the Midwest. It is the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Thanks for being here. Stream us anywhere on your phone. If you're on X, you've got us there. So bring us up live right now on X at Nate Brown Show. We're streaming live there. Well, there's been a lot of conversation the last couple of days after a conversation we had on this program with Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Berman. And Tom talking about the future of college football and what that looks like for the Wyomings and potentially some top-tier FCS programs. Will there be a breakoff of the biggest programs in the country, a top 40, as he called it? Well, there's a guy who's been at FCS school, is one of the best, I think, in the country. I've followed him a long time. I think they have one of the best followings and all of that support. You guys know him, the Montana Grizzlies. He was the athletic director for the Grizz. I had him on my show when I did a show in Billings, Montana. Maybe he doesn't remember this, but he's back on. Jim O'Day, former athletic director, University of Montana, joins us live. Jim, good to have you. How are you?
Nate, always good to hear from you. Absolutely. I remember when you were down in Billings.
All right,
I'm sure they could probably still use you down there.
I love it, man. I appreciate you hopping back in, reconnecting, and I wanted to bring you in because you know the deal. You've been at an FCS school, Montana. You're still rather engaged with, like, conversations around this, and I've seen you discussing this. What did you think of Tom Berman's statements on this program a couple of days ago about there's going to be a split off, he believes, and he didn't say when, but there's going to be a split up of a top 40-ish with huge budgets, and then the rest of us are going to reconfigure, and the Montanas and the Dakotas will have to have some decisions made. What did you think of that?
Well, number one, I have great respect for Tom Berman. Known Tom a long time when he was at Portland State. His sister lives in Missoula, Montana. Tom and I go back and forth a lot, but I've always had great respect for him. I know that he has great insight to so many things that go on because in their own little way, they kind of sit where a lot of us sit. Right kind of on that fence. You know, we're never going to be the Ohio States and everything. So what is the future for our programs in these kind of mid-major type sites that we would look at? We'd call that for basketball, but for football as well. And, you know, I was glad to see that. It is something that I have felt for a long time. Personally, I feel one of the problems that exists with it is the NCAA doesn't move very fast. It's like a lot of different government-type programs where it just doesn't move fast. And you kind of are going to have to look at it. I talk with a lot of my former athletic director friends that are in different places in the country, many of whom have moved on to bigger schools. And in truth, when I say, you know what, you guys probably don't really care what happens to any of us, so you're really not dragging on the conversation.
Yeah.
The conversation needs to be brought up from these mid-level schools, presidents and athletic directors, or nothing's going to change. Okay. Because in truth, the top 40 people, they know what they want to do.
It's interesting you say that because I want to add on. I said on my show, I said, I'm not an AD, I don't know the whole story, but it feels like the Tom Bermans and maybe it's Montana's, South Dakota State's, other people that are in the Mountain West, for example, in the FBS, they need to have the conversation because I don't know if it's sustainable. How can they sustain the new model, the revenue sharing, the NIL, and stay at a level with the big dogs? I don't know how long a Wyoming or somebody can sustain that.
You know, they really can't. You know, Lance Leopold is a friend of mine. He's at Kansas. He just had a donor that just gave him $30 million, much of which will go to the football program, $75 million towards some of their stadium expansion and stuff. When you're looking at the Kansas, and you're not talking the Georgia and the you know, the schools like that, the Ohio States and the Texas A&Ms and the Texases, you know, they're Kansas. You're kind of saying, well, they're kind of, you know, When you have $300 million, same thing happened at Oklahoma State. Same thing happened at Oklahoma State. And when you get someone, you know, that's got that kind of money or numbers that have that kind of money, you can do it. But most of us don't. Most of us are pretty well limited. You know, we might have one big donor. We might have two. But how long can they keep funding the program to try and even stay at a level where you're you know, like, for example, NIL. I have some good friends that are in the old Pac-12, and they're saying, you know what, I got $1 million donor in such and such a town. He's trying to say, should I give the money to the NIL, or do you need the money? And the AD saying, well, I need the money, but we need the NIL too.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know what to tell them, and I haven't got many of them that I can worry about that with. So something needs to happen. How fast it happens, I think within the next 5 to 10 years. But what is that, 5 to 10 years? It's just going to delay the inevitable, in my opinion.
Jim O'Day on tonight, former athletic director for the Grizz, University of Montana, discussing the FBS, FCS scenario moving forward. How aggressive do you think the Montanas and North Dakota States, you know, South Dakota States, do you think they've been aggressive trying to get up to the Mountain West, get into the FBS, or are they waiting around to see?
I think the North Dakota states and the South Dakota states have. But one of the things that you have to worry about first is to be at a true full-time Division I level, you have to have 16 sports. Both the Montana schools have 15. If they were truly serious, in my opinion, they'd be looking right now to add that additional sport. For Montana State, it would be real easy. They could probably add men's golf because of their Title IX numbers that would work in their favor to add one men's sport. And the Big Sky Conference already has a men's golf championship. Montana State don't have men's golf. For the Grizzlies, it'd be a tougher deal because they'd have to add one more women's sport. And when you're looking at numbers, what are the numbers going to be? You know, I know they talked about bowling and some of these. I don't think that brings them to the numbers they're going to need for the number of scholarships that they would need to compete at that next level. So if they are truly all serious about it, I know they've talked about it. The money has always been a concern, but the first thing you got to do is you got to get to the spot where, you know what, when they may ask you, you're ready to go. Instead of just saying, okay, well, we'll do a study and stuff, then the day may pass you by. So you got to be ready for that. So those will be some of the interesting discussions. And again, you know, Tom Berman brought that up again. You're not going to see it brought up by the big schools, not in the Power 4 group. They're not going to bring it up because really they're in the best of all worlds right now. They're making the money. They've got the money. They got the boosters. They got teams that they can play for a certain amount of money. And, you know, they really don't have to do much.
Yeah. No, I get that. The big boys, they have the autonomy. They're controlling the playoff, the media deals. They've got all that. It's the Wyomings, the Montanas of the world. Where are they going to be? So Tom Berman said this, Jim. He said, Wyoming, he sounded like we would have liked these schools to be like Mountain West members. That's basically what he said. Not everybody in the Mountain West, it didn't make sense for everybody. So I'm going to ask you, does it make sense for this new Mountain West to say, add the Dakotas, add the Montanas? What's the benefit there? Why would UNLV and people like that sign off on that?
You know what? If they were really serious, I'd have a North and South division. Add the Dakota schools, the Montana schools, get Idaho, maybe another school maybe from around that area and the Wyomings and stuff. The other thing is, if you're looking at revenue streams, I don't know how much more a school like Montana State can keep charging for their football games. GrizzCat game this year, I saw a couple of the deals from the department, $200 and some for a ticket. For homecoming, $125. How much more can you do that if you're having to bring in schools that people don't know? How often, you know, I don't know if you can keep doing that. The rest of their tickets, I think, are like $31 to $35 or whatever. You know, that's kind of at this level what you're going to see a lot of. But if you're going to want to raise more money, you're going to have to do that. And to do it, you got to bring some of the competition to the front. And, you know, everyone's excited about the South Dakota State, Montana, and the Montana State, North Dakota State game in Nevada, in Las Vegas. Those are 2 and 4 years away. And people are saying, well, we want those games in Missoula and we want them in Bozeman. And I said, neither school probably wants, you know, the away schools don't want to play in those. They don't want to play away. They want to play these teams in a normal site. Yeah. And they said, well, you lose opportunity. I mean, a Montana game against South Dakota State or North Dakota State at home, I know, will net you over $1 million. That's a lot of money on your budget in a small school when your budgets are about $25 million. And so I doubt very much that Las Vegas is going to pay either of those schools that kind of money, but you've got to do some things to really keep the excitement going at the FCF level, because those are a lot of the top programs.
How hungry are Grizz fans in Missoula? Just give me this perspective to have something new. What if they got in the Mountain West and are playing a Wyoming? I see that as good. We're biased in this part of the country. How hungry is Montana fans to play new teams like that?
That is one thing I worry about. We're pretty spoiled. We're used to winning a lot of games. You're going to have to accept the fact that you're not going to win 90% of your games, especially at home. That's not always going to be the case. You have to realize that when schools come in, they're going to be on level par with you, that you're not going to win every game. And I don't know how that's going to go. I really don't. I know when I talk to a lot of people, they don't want to move up. And I say, well, move up might not be a choice. You might either be redistrict here. Do you want to play Division I or Division II? Because the FCS, maybe it'll go away. I don't know. So you're going to have the elite group, and then you'll have a Division I, Division II, Division III. We know Division III is non-scholarship. Division II is where a lot of probably our schools should probably be. And why? If we want to win all the games, that's great. Let's stay there. We know what our budgets are going to be. We know what we can handle. We don't have to get into a trade war or whatever with all the big schools and say, well, we've got to have the best indoor facility. We've got to have the best track. We've got to have the best venue for football. Here's where we know we are, and we're going to educate our kids, and there's a good spot for us. Personally, I'd love to see us in that next level where we're playing again the Appalachian States, the Troy States, the Georgia Southerns, and those type schools that I think academically are peer institutions with us, and I think that's very critical.
Jim O'Day on tonight, former athletic director, University of Montana. Good insight on this as college football changes. We've had a lot of conversation with Wyoming AD Tom Berman, and now Jim on with the perspective from the Big Sky and his experience. I want to know if you think ultimately down the road here, Montana wants to be in this new division, this reconfigured division. Can they really compete? I know on the field sometimes they can with Utah State, let's say Wyoming, let's say Colorado State, because I don't think they're going to be in the big leagues. They're all going to be in the same division. Can Montana State, the Dakota schools, compete revenue, fundraising with a Colorado State, a Utah State, a Wyoming?
I absolutely believe we can. I think our fans are very passionate. That's a big part of it. You got to be passionate. And if you're passionate, you'll go above and beyond and help fund some of these programs that maybe are a little stale, going to these same schools all the time, because you're very restricted in what you can do, because there's not that many FCS schools out on the West Coast. So even if you bring in a Drake or you bring in in the old time Missouri State, that doesn't mean anything to our fans. Our fans, if all of a sudden you said Wyoming's coming, they'd be excited. If Colorado State, they would be so excited. The other thing is a lot of those other places, the Fresno States, the Colorado States, they're competing still against the Stanfords and all the big schools. Colorado, they're against the big media deals. They're also competing against some of the pro teams. So, and while they have bigger numbers maybe, the passion might not quite be there that the North Dakota, South Dakota, Montanas, and those schools where they have a unique situation that the fans are so passionate. They're going to follow them. They're going to do whatever. And you'll probably see some people step outside the bounds and really help them financially that maybe right now are looking and saying, you know what, people don't know that much about FCS. That they might down the road. But I think if you're going to try and raise ticket prices, you got to start being able to bring in some teams that people know who they are, that they feel peer-wise, institutionally, both academic and athletically, that they say, you know what, we love beating Wyoming. We love beating Colorado State. We love beating Utah State. You know what? I think that would provide some real excitement, but it would take some education and understanding, I think, by fans at the Montana State level.
I think they would, selfishly, I would love it. It sounds like it's not a far-fetched idea. There's people plugged in that are saying this is, in the long run, the words were used, could happen. Want your perspective on it. Let's stay in touch on this, Jim. I appreciate your coming on. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, anytime, and let's see what happens. I'd love to see it as well. Like I said, it'll happen sometime. It's going to be forced to happen. It's just how fast. And to me, I'm a guy that always believed in let's be proactive and not reactive.
Yeah. Jim O'Day, good to talk to you. I appreciate it. Former athletic director, University of Montana. Jim O'Day on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Good stuff there from the Montana side and the Big Sky side. Interesting stuff. I see Montana State, South Dakota State, USD, and North Dakota State. Those are the ones I see that really should be ready for this. There's a lot of schools in FCS not even close. They would revert to Division II, I think, because they're almost Division II funding-wise now. There's a lot. So Let's keep an eye on it. Good stuff from Jim O'Day. Appreciate his time. Coming back with Lee Sterling, his first appearance on the Nate Brown Show for the football season. He's going to break down Kansas State, Iowa State next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Oh, yes, welcome in, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Thursday edition. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Lock it in. We know that every day, but the Nate Brown Show is on. Thanks for being here, making this show possible each afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio. Stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. Right now, we are live. It is happy hour on a Thursday with Rob Keighron coming in. The New York City national radio host who makes his appearance on South Dakota's Sports Talk Show every week for a full hour. It is the Rob Keighron Experience. Coming up with happy hour and our guest host next hour. Hey, it's football season. I got this note from Lee Sterling. It's time to talk football. So he's in. He's ready. One of the best handicappers you can find. It is ParamountSports.com. Lee Sterling back in for 2025. Lee, how are you?
Can't complain. Got one of my daughters married off, so it's his problem now.
It was yours, and you got it taken care of. Okay, good. That's an update.
Yeah, no, I love my daughter, but sometimes she's not the easiest, so she was very happy. Turned out, I'll have to put it on social media. What happened was, when they were at the altar, her soon-to-be husband at the time read off what he calls the notes. And what they are is, in their 7.5 years dating, things that she said that were unintentionally funny. Things like, if, let's say, he had a toothpick in his mouth, she would say something like, "Oh, I love your pitchfork." So things like that. He has over 350 of them. So he read like 6 or 7 of them when he was standing at the altar, and someone recorded it and he put it on TikTok. Well, it went viral. And there was over 14 million views of it. And then ABC came calling after. I mean, it was on People. It was on almost every major website, and even Barstool called. But when you give Barstool the video, they own the rights forever, so they didn't want to do that. But ABC, Good Morning America, they sent someone out and they interviewed them, and they were on 3 times that day. Like, I think your time, like 5:30, 7:30 in the morning, and on the new news. So my phone was blowing up last Tuesday, so that was kind of fun to see, and just shows you anything can happen.
I'm going to check that out. That's amazing. How about that? The big question is, does your son-in-law listen to your sports betting advice? Come on.
Oh, yeah. So he and all his buddies, they have the number, and whenever I hit a big play, I usually get a shirt. I'll never forget, one year we had a 50-unit play on UAB, and they came through for us, and I think I got 3 or 4 shirts from him and his buddies, UAB shirts. So I think the UAB, the bookstore was shocked that they were getting orders for T-shirts from Miami that week. So that was fun, and they're always getting together, playing my card in the UFC. So they first started off. I'll never forget this. They were first dating. After he had graduated, he actually played for the University of Miami. He was a center, and him and all his buddies signed up for a guy for $25.
Okay.
And the guy went 1-15 over 3 weeks and just disappeared off Twitter. So I give him some guff, him and all his friends. We call them the underwear cappers that disappear.
Okay, I know, and you're not one of them. You put your stuff out there. If this is the first time you've heard Lee, he's on. We're going to have him all football season. ParamountSports.com. Lee Sterling on tonight on the Nate Brown Show across the state. Okay, let's get into this. There's a game this weekend. A lot of people around here are interested. People think Iowa State's going to be good. They're top 25. K-State's top 25. This is Dublin, Ireland. K-State's favored by 3. What do you see this weekend?
Here's what's interesting about this game. A lot of people thought that Iowa State was going to come out as the favorite. Why? They went 11-3 last year, and Kansas State was 9-4. So let's look at the records against each other. Iowa State, they won 4 of the last 5 heads up against Kansas State. They're 5-0 against the spread in the series. They have near identical schedules from last year. Iowa's strength of schedule was 34, Kansas State's 38. But what was interesting was, I think this is the reason Kansas State is favored. They were better in almost every metric except for their record. Example, Kansas State outgained opponents by 83 yards per game. Iowa State just 62. So why was Iowa State 11-3 and Kansas State 9-4? I think it's because Iowa State was +9 in turnover ratio for the year. Kansas State -1 after going +11 and +12 the 2 previous years. So I think it's going to come down to a couple factors here. I like the explosiveness of Avery Johnson here for Kansas State, running and throwing the football. Iowa State, usually when you see an 11-win team, they've got 30, 35, 40 sacks. They only had 16 last year, whereas Kansas State had 35. They're better at creating havoc. And how about Iowa State last year? They had two really good starting receivers.
Yeah.
They went in the second and third round to Houston, and I'm talking about Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. These two combined for 167 catches and 17 touchdowns. Maybe the best duo to come out in 1 year since, maybe Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So I think Kansas State is probably the right side here, 27-20.
27-20. You go K-State. Yeah, those two wide receivers, 2,000-yard wide receivers. That's a lot of production, man, for Iowa State.
Incredible, and just under the radar. They played at LSU or Alabama or Texas, everyone will be talking about them.
So you go K-State. Have you figured out the Big 12 yet? I mean, this is a conference I can't figure out. I don't know who the best is going to be. I think it's going to be wild.
I agree. I think we might see the last week. It might come down to 3 or 4 teams with the same record. So there's a lot of good teams here. Iowa State's good. Kansas State's good. A lot of people love Arizona State. I think they caught teams at the right time last year. I also like Baylor and Utah. I'm going to give you an absolute sleeper. This is one of my top 3 prop plays for team over-unders. It's the University of Houston. They're sitting at 5.5. Willie Fritz, who came over from Tulane last year, is a really good coach. And he brought in, I was looking at some of his transfers. I had my eye on them, and believe it or not, I thought they should have been going to conferences like the SEC or the Big Ten. Instead, their quarterback, Connor Wegman, really good. They've got a tight end in Tanner Kozel, second-team all-conference receiver from Ball State. So this is a team that I think is going to be under the radar. I think they have a manageable schedule. The over-under is 5.5. I could see them win 7 or 8 games. Maybe the most overrated team might be BYU. I think to come down and losing their quarterback and one of their best receivers is going to be a lot. They won every single close game last year. When that happens, when you have 4 net upsets, and you're probably going to come back to earth the next year. They were +8 in turnover ratio. Before that, they were usually sitting right at 0, 1, or 2 every single year.
Little extra play there on season win totals in the Big 12. And you go K-State 27-20. So that's this weekend in Dublin. Lee Sterling's on ParamountSports.com. Let's go Big Ten. A lot of Big Ten fans around here. I think Penn State's overrated, so I want to start there. People think they're a national championship team. So let's start with a little Penn State and some other teams in the Big Ten.
So I think Penn State is really talented, but Drew Lar, every big game, his accuracy and his completion percentage could just go way down. Now, his receivers are going to be better this year. They have a really good line and 2 great running backs, but I still don't know if he's the guy that's going to win a national title. Ohio State, I think, will be down a little bit. So will Oregon. Both these teams are. If you're going to predict them to finish second and third with brand new quarterbacks, I think that's going to be really tough. Michigan should be better. Illinois. They've got some experience and they've got a manageable schedule. They got to play at home against Ohio State. That stretch just in the middle, and then a bye, and then at Washington. Those are 2 games I'm worried about. The team I think that's going to shock everyone is Nebraska. I think that they're right on the cusp of having a big season, maybe a 9-10-win season if everything goes right. Love the higher midseason last year with 4 games to go of Dana Holgorsen. I think Dylan Raiola is an absolute talent. With the right system, I think he could have a big year and go from having 13 touchdown passes to somewhere around 23 to 25.
So you say Huskers underrated. Ohio State's going to turn down a little bit. Penn State's going to turn down. What do you think?
One other team I like a lot also is the Washington Huskies. This young quarterback, true freshman, Damon Williams, is something special, running and throwing the football. He's going to win them a lot of games, and even against better teams, he'll keep them in the game. So I like Jed Fish. It looks like he's put together a pretty good staff, and look out for Washington. 6-7 last year. They'll have a winning record this year.
One more hit. Iowa Hawkeyes. Yep. They always win 7 or 8 games. Are they going to do it again?
Yeah, I mean it's not going to be pretty great. They did make a real. I think they got a quarterback that's going to be really good, but still, I don't love their receivers. You know, there's going to be a downgrade of running back when you lose a guy like Caleb Johnson that gained over 1,500 yards and had 21 touchdowns. So they've got a manageable schedule, but. I think 7-5 is about as far as they can go.
Okay, Lee Sterling, football season starting. What do you want to tell people about Paramount Sports as we get going?
So if they want to get involved, if you're not ready to sign up for the season, how about this 6 weeks? We call it September to Remember, and normally $5.97. It's our phone service through the end of September, starting this weekend. Normally, most weekends you're going to get 9 to 12 plays per week, and we rate them from 10 to 50 units. Last 17 years on our 40 to 50 unit plays, we're 71 and 28, over 70% on those. So if you want to hop on board, 6 weeks through the end of September, just $4.97. Use coupon code SAVE100. Or if you want to try out the UFC, we've won 10 of the last 13 cards. It's coming from China and actually starts at 2 in the morning on Saturday morning. 3 selections, only $33. Use coupon code SAVE30, SAVE, and the number 30, just $3. One place. ParamountSports.com.
Okay, hit it. I'm looking forward to it. ParamountSports.com. It's Lee Sterling. Always great, man. Thanks.
Okay, take care. See you, Nate.
Appreciate it. Lee Sterling on the Nate Brown Show. We're going to have them all season, breaking down the biggest games. ParamountSports.com. You want a little college football action? It's SAVE100, coupon code, ParamountSports.com. Kansas State, he's taken the K-State -3. He's going to go 27-20 over Iowa State. So he's taken K-State, who's favored by 3. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, there's a big media announcement today nationally, and I'm just trying to find the people that think this is big. Next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
The new Mr. Liquor 2 in Rapid City is the only place in western South Dakota where you can order an ice-cold brew in the adjoining Campfire Bar and enjoy it while you shop. This month's specials include your favorite brands at great prices, like your choice of Jim Beam White or Wild Turkey Bourbon, a $7.50 of either one for $18.99. Deep Eddy Vodka $7.50 is only $15.99. Or get 12 packs of Garage Beer for just $12.99. The new Mr. Liquor 2, off Catron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Coming up, John Brice, national college football writer. Good stuff from John, straight ahead, footballscoop.com. He is on tap. Big announcement in the SEC today. Can't believe this. That's coming up. A big announcement here. I was watching CNBC this morning, getting caught up on the markets, okay, watching CNBC, and I see the ESPN chairman there, Jimmy Pitaro. ESPN on... Disney CEO, the big boys are out on CNBC this morning making the announcement that Disney, ESPN, is launching their new streaming app today. So huge announcement. And ESPN's chairman said, I would say that this is one of the biggest days at ESPN, if not the biggest. The biggest day at ESPN. Jimmy Pitaro, ESPN chairman, this is something that fans have been wanting. They've been asking for this for many years, and our mission is to serve the sports fan anytime, anywhere, and we're going to deliver. So what this means is they're not as dialed in on, hey, we got to make sure TV or cable, we got to make sure we have all these subscriptions and we're on all of this stuff. They're going direct to consumer streaming app. And so ESPN announcing this today, we've heard about this, the ESPN streaming app. You can get all access to all the ESPN networks for $29.99 a month. So I have a question for everybody. Does everybody not have access to everything on ESPN? There's so many. There's satellite, there's cable, there's YouTube TV, there's all these streaming services. Are these guys going to really, really feed the bulldog with their own streaming app? These are the big boys. They know more than I do, but it's so $29.99 gets you everything ESPN has. Are there people out there that want just ESPN? This is a sports show, and so ESPN made this announcement. By the way, I'm on Fox Sports Radio. Guess what Fox did today? Same thing. They just launched Fox One, and it's $21.99 a month. So it's what are we doing? I don't, so then you can get every Fox network. You can get every ESPN. And guess what? It gets better. They're going to launch the Fox ESPN bundle together in October, and then you get it all. What's that going to cost me? $40 a month. Say it isn't so. ESPN, biggest day at ESPN today. We launched our own streaming app. You get everything on ESPN on your phone right here and on your smart TV. You can stream ESPN. Fox, we're going to do the same thing. You can stream Fox. And then 2 months later, let's team up and offer just ESPN and Fox for $40 a month. What am I missing? I think you could just get YouTube TV, you can have cable, you can have satellite, whatever you want. From a money standpoint, I get it. But sports fans, are you going to think this is a big deal? I don't see it as big as, I guess, the CEOs saw it on CNBC this morning. John Brice is next, college football writer, footballscoop.com, with a big announcement in the SEC. Now, this is big. Maybe the biggest day in the SEC ever coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Save big money on your next project at Menards. Start your next tiling job with professional quality tech installation products. We carry products like floor levelers, mortar, and mastics for any material, along with the grout or caulk color options to complement any tile. Tech installation products are easy to use for a professional result. Save big money on all tech tile installation products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch ticket from the South Dakota Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $50,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today, and welcome to Jurassic Park. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
It's another exciting season of high school football action beginning Friday on Fox Sports Rapid City. Two of the top teams in Class 11B go head-to-head as the St. Thomas More Cavaliers battle the Sioux Valley Cossacks at Dutton Field in Rapid City. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show at 4:45, followed by the kickoff at 5. Catch St. Thomas More and Sioux Valley in high school football action Friday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Host your next big event at the Box Elder Event Center, now featuring all new lighting, enhanced sound, and cutting-edge AV. Your destination for conventions, conferences, weddings, tournaments, concerts, and private parties of all kinds. Plus, their gourmet catering isn't just for on-site events, they'll deliver straight to you. Don't miss the Pickle Boo Pickleball Tournament October 24th to 26th, and Fall Hoop Fest November 7th to 9th. Learn more and book today at thebox.live.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome into the second hour of the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. This hour driven by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned selection in South Dakota, one place you start, summitautogrp.com. Right now on your phone, You're looking at pre-owned? Start there, summitautogrp.com, and then experience car buying built around you, the Summit difference. Summitautogrp.com. On the Nate Brown Show this Thursday. Hey, happy hour straight ahead with our guest host every hour, every second hour in the Thursday show. Rob Keighron's coming in, national radio host and South Dakota extraordinaire. Rob Keighron's coming in. We'll shoot it around, a lot to discuss. Let's go to college football's extraordinaire, John Brice, footballscoop.com. These guys are busy, man. If you're not going to the site now, this is the time. If you haven't hit it, I do it every day. Footballscoop.com. John, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. I appreciate your kind words, and I will use that opportunity to note that we relaunched our podcast this week after taking the summer off, and we're 3 times a week going Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So we just recorded a new ep today, and would be thrilled for any of your fine listeners to check us out.
Okay, I have checked that out. It's good stuff, the pod. Hey, big announcement of the SEC. So if people haven't caught this yet, SEC's going to go to 9 league games. They're going to go to 9 conference games. This has been a big sticking point. Big Ten does it. SEC played 8 and then a cupcake late in the year and all that stuff. Why do you think the SEC has done this? Where's this going?
I will answer with the rhetorical question and then continue on, and that would be, why is any decision made right now in college athletics? Because it's about the money. It's absolutely about the money, and this is a little bit of a situation of Greg Sankey getting walked a little bit by the Big Ten, in my opinion. The Big Ten has been very vocal in trying to pressure the SEC into playing 9 conference games. It couldn't have been more clear, and I talked to somebody who was at SEC spring meetings in late May, early June, there in the Florida Panhandle in Destin, an event I've covered a number of times. I talked to somebody who was in a room with more than half a dozen SEC head coaches who could not have been more clear about wanting to stick at 8 games. And so I think that's important here, because the SEC coaches, head coaches, by and large, overwhelmingly did not want to go to a 9-conference game schedule. They were armed with data and statistics that they said would bear out why they didn't need to, but they're going to a 9-game conference schedule. They're keeping their mandate that also one of the non-conference games still be against a fellow power conference resident or Notre Dame. So South Carolina, for example, is playing 10 power conference games this year because it opens with Virginia Tech and also has Clemson, as well as 8 SEC games. But beginning in 26, every SEC team will play at least 10 games against power conference competition. That is significant. That is not what the coaches wanted, but also the SEC is trying very hard to get a new TV deal with ESPN and its other broadcast partners, and that value goes up remarkably on a 9-game SEC schedule versus an 8-game SEC schedule, because as hard as it is to believe, there's not a lot of people lining up to televise, say, South Carolina versus the Citadel.
Yeah, and then that add-on that you mentioned, this kind of got covered up. SEC is going to play 9 conference games, and then they're going to make sure it's mandated 1 non-league power conference every year. So, you know, the Texas-Ohio State thing going on next weekend is stuff like that. And it may not be that premier, but that's also a big thing, right?
That's a huge thing. And you know, it's not always the SEC team's fault when something like that falls through. Let's remember that Ole Miss absolutely smoked Wake Forest last fall. And then after the game, we found out that Wake Forest canceled through athletics director John Curry, canceled its planned return visit to Oxford to complete that home and home, and that left Ole Miss in a scheduling bind. So it's not always the SEC's fault for playing cupcakes. I sort of deride the notion a little bit about how it just means more, and we're such a tougher conference and all of that. But this is significant that they're going to now mandate a 9-game schedule plus keeping a power conference non-conference opponent, which I believe that makes them the only league in America starting in 26 that will require all of its member institutions to play at least 10 games against power conference competition, because yes, the Big Ten, yes, the Big 12, they have 9-game conference schedules right now, but they don't have mandates, which is why you see Indiana, and my colleague Zach Barnett had a hilarious tweet this afternoon saying Indiana has rushed to schedule games against Bloomington High School. Indiana's non-conference games this fall, and Kurt Signetti has defended it with a straight face, are against Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State.
Not good. Not good. He was trying to give the SEC some shade and say, we have the SEC non-conference schedule. Not quite in Indiana. John Brice on tonight. So big news out of the SEC. Now, speaking of big money, big TV deals, the SEC and Big Ten will be running the show for the foreseeable future. You've talked about this on my program. There's going to be a breakaway. You and I have discussed this going back years now. Athletic director at Wyoming, Tom Berman, who's in the know, he's in these conversations. He's one of the first mid-tier guys I've seen say, yeah, I think this is going to happen, and we're going to reconfigure, and maybe that involves the best of the FCS teams joining in with us. What did you think of that the other day?
I thought it was great journalistic work by you, and I don't say that because I'm a guest on your show. I thought it was an outstanding interview by you. You should know that people brought the interview to my attention before I had seen it, including my wife, and they were like, you need to write about this. And so I thought it was incredible. I thought it was very telling, and I thought it was very accurate. We know that we've said on your show for a long time, we're trending towards a 40-team super division, and we've talked about the fact that even an executive who works with between 36 and 40 NCAA athletics programs right now has said maybe 50 or 60, and I said, what about 40? And he goes, your number's probably closer to accurate than my number. So I think that's where we're headed. It will be a collectively bargained TV agreement. You will see this 40-team super division. Maybe it's 44, whatever. Maybe it's 48, 4 divisions of 12. If 8 additional teams can find the funding to prove that they're viable. But you will see it bargained from a TV contract standpoint with all of them as one entity. And maybe it will be the NCAA Super Football Division. I don't know what they'll call it, the Max Division. And it will negotiate their TV contracts. And again, as he pointed out, as I've shared on your show before, it will be like the NFL. They don't let the AFC and NFC negotiate separate contracts because of recent years, the AFC has been exponentially better than the NFC. Even with the Eagles winning the last Super Bowl, the AFC was a better conference.
Okay, I know the name. It's going to be called. I've got it. I'm going to break the news. They're going to call it the Power 40 or, Power 48. Oh. That's it. The Power 40.
I like that.
Yeah.
Why don't they just call it the Casey Kasems?
I'm just get ready. By the way, last one, John Brice. Do you think the South Dakota States, the Montana schools, the North Dakota States should be really ready to go and working on things behind the scenes to have these conversations with the Mountain West and have serious ones right now?
Absolutely, I do. And I'll say that because, 3 years ago, that South Dakota State went and smoked Colorado State, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was a game that I pretty much called my shot on your radio show, which was just you being kind enough to let me call my shot. But, yeah, those are great programs. They've been proactive. They develop players. They do a great job. They invest their resources in it. I will leave you with something that was talked to me about today, something that I've heard before that's probably not been talked about enough, and that is these group of fives, even FCS, they're looking for talent development fees or allocation fees, basically. And someone from a group of five program said earlier this summer at an event that I attended and covered that his entire defensive line left and signed with Power 4 conference programs for more than $3 million, 4 players for more than $3 million. And he said, we developed those guys for 3 years, and you paid us nothing. We saw the Northern Illinois AD come out this week and say, you need to pay us a development fee. Development dollars is what I'll call it. So I think that's the next thing to watch. I'm not sure it will happen, but I think once one or two people start talking publicly about it, you'll hear a lot more people talk publicly about it. But yes, I think that Montana State, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, even South Dakota's done some nice things. I think they're positioned to take that next step and be in. It's probably going to be an incredibly entertaining and larger division with 60 to 80 teams after your Fab 40.
I'm with you on it. Boy, will it move? That's the thing. Will it move and how long? John Brice in tonight. Follow his work. It's football season. Footballscoop.com, national writer. John, enjoy the week, man. Thanks.
You're the best, Nate. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you coming on. As always, John Brice in tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, national college football writer for footballscoop.com. It's Rob Keighron time on the Nate Brown Show. A lot of work to do with Rob. Happy hour on South Dakota Sports Talk Show next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Don't miss Splash City's 47th anniversary Jacuzzi and Sundance Factory truckload event now through August 25th. Save thousands on your new hot tub or swim spa. And save on season-end clearance on all patio furniture and fire pit tables. Get 0% financing for 60 months. And 15% off all chemicals. With every hot tub purchase, get a free gift valued at $1,800. The semi-truck will only be in town for this great sale, and when it's done, it's gone. The area's #1 summer fun spot, Splash City. Find us in Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and Rapid City.
You've seen him on the bag, now follow him online. It's Lofi, Country Heart's mascot, and not only is he a cute little slice, he adds a bit of fun to Fridays. Follow Lofi on Facebook for Free Bread Fridays. Each week his posts may include a kid-friendly coloring page, a fun bit of trivia, or one of his famous dad jokes. Jokes may be stale, but his bread is always fresh. Just like his post each week for a chance to win a coupon for a free Country Hearth product. Join the party with Country Hearth and Lofi on Facebook.com/Country Hearth Breads, because when the bread is free, the fun rises.
Start your adventure in a sport utility at Danny Emanuel Rushmore Honda. Get great offers on nearly 70 late model SUVs, imports, and domestics. Makes like Ford, Toyota, GMC, Chevy, Subaru, Jeep, and more. Plus, we have the area's best selection of pre-owned Honda and Honda certified pre-owned. Save big with 0.99% APR on select certified pre-owned. Your sport utility is here at Danny Emanuel Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Length of finance contract is limited with qualified credit, expires 9/2/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 60. Winds out of the north, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tomorrow, thunderstorms likely. High temperatures reach up to 78. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, chance of thunderstorms. Lows dip down to about 56. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 84.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. Want to invite you all to this year's Cool Deadwood Nights Classic Collector Car Auction. Now, the auction begins Thursday, 3 p.m. in the afternoon with memorabilia, and then approximately 4 o'clock we'll be selling on the cars. We're kicking it off with a 2023 Corvette Z06 with only 777 miles on it. Then we'll be on to classic cars Friday and Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning. Sure to be a big weekend at the Deadwood Mountain Grand. Hope to see you all Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Cool Deadwood Nights, McPhersonAuction.com.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
welcome in. How are you today? Thursday edition of the program is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You found us on your drive home on Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being here, making this show possible. Hope you're doing great. Appreciate all of our sponsors, all of our listeners. The Nate Brown Show is on. Stream us at Nate Brown Show on X. If you're on X, find us there, at Nate Brown Show. A reminder, if you missed some of the guests this week, really good. Talked a lot of college football. Just had the former AD from the University of Montana on tonight, talking about the changes coming. He thinks that was good stuff from Jim O'Day. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Search the Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts, and you've got us on demand. Rob Keighron's ready tonight. It's happy hour every Thursday on the Nate Brown Show, presented by Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, downtown Rapid City. And remember, it's football season at the Skybox, Rapid City's #1 sports bar. Things getting cranked up. Rob Keighron, I got to ask you a couple of questions here. I got to get into some preseason football. So my guy Josh Allen is not going to play in the preseason for the first time ever. He's not going to play at all.
Yep.
So Josh Allen's out. I'm asking you, should all teams, or at least more teams, do this with their starting QBs? No Bo Nix, no Caleb Williams, no J.J. McCarthy, no Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just go through it. Mahomes even plays. Should most teams say, starting QBs, preseason, we're out?
I think teams that have established quarterbacks that have been established for a number of years, right? So I think this is actually a small group of teams. I think you could obviously say Buffalo. I think you'd say Mahomes with Kansas City. I don't think there'd be a ton more, though. Maybe Jalen Hurts in Philly, Purdy maybe in San Francisco. But
Russell Wilson in New York?
No.
Don't put Russell out there. What are you doing?
No, what I mean is teams that have quarterbacks that have been with that team for quite a while, right? And that don't necessarily need the reps. Russell has not played with these guys. So I'd say the same things about Aaron Rodgers, right? New team, got to get a handful of reps. I don't think a ton.
But Aaron's not playing either, right?
Nope. But I think guys like Allen, it makes sense. Mahomes, it makes sense. Like I said, there's probably a handful, maybe two handfuls. Lamar with Baltimore. Because what are they really going to gain out of it? Like, particularly the way that they do the training camps now, where they make sure they have a number of days against another team, and they have these kind of really intense practices where they go back and forth. Ones are playing against the ones of the opposing team in those practices. Do you really need to put those kind of star players, franchise quarterbacks, guys that if they got hurt, you wouldn't have a team for the rest of the season?
Right.
I don't know that there's a whole lot to gain. I think if it's an established quarterback with a new team, or young quarterbacks, or when you have a quarterback battle. But those would be the reasons to put them out there in a preseason game. I think there should be more Josh Allens who don't play. I just don't see what they're going to gain out of it.
I'm just curious because Josh Allen's going to sit out the preseason here. They made that announcement today. It's the first time he's ever not played, and I took a step back like, why was he playing last year? I mean, this is the MVP.
Yep.
Does he need to play?
Yeah, he didn't need to play last year. I completely agree. I think teams are starting to wake up to this. Mahomes, I know he played in the first game. Did Mahomes play in the second game? I don't
think so.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are taking that second game off.
Yeah, and I wonder if Mahomes will play in this third game. You would think he'd play a little bit, but I wouldn't blame Andy Reid if he didn't put him out there. Does anyone think Mahomes is going to be less prepared for the first game of the season if he doesn't play in the preseason games?
I don't get it.
He will be absolutely prepared. And to say, well, you need those game reps, you need those fast action. They're doing that in those warm up, those sessions where there are two teams present.
Yes.
They are absolutely going full at it in those kind of sessions. I think they get enough out of that. And certainly training camp itself is pretty intense, right? Like they're working the number ones a whole lot. They're getting plenty of reps in those. Think about it. Once the season starts, there isn't a whole lot of practice that goes on in football, right?
No, right. It's light.
Very light. They're trying not to. These guys need to recover, so they're getting a lot of reps in these training camps that I don't think they need the games themselves. And I think the fact of the matter is, all you need to know is once we go to 18 games, and I say once we go to 18 games, that is going to happen, folks. That's for sure. they're going to drop a preseason game.
so you're going to have 2.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right, that's it. They're not overly concerned with the guys being ready to play.
By the way, J.J. McCarthy didn't play second game for the Vikings, which I thought, wow, that's interesting. Would you throw him out there every game at least a little bit?
Absolutely, right? A guy who hasn't played a football game in what? Almost 2 years.
But you just said it. I mean, he practiced against the Patriots last week, heavy.
Yeah,
so he said, we're good.
But I still think when you're that young, the more reps you get, the better. The more the game starts to slow down for you. We don't have to worry about the game being too fast for Allen and Mahomes, Lamar, all these great quarterbacks. For young quarterbacks, and he's essentially a rookie quarterback, didn't play his whole first year, you need those reps before the game starts to slow down for you. I would throw him out there every opportunity I get. Not the whole game, but quarter, 2 quarters for sure.
Okay, Rob Keighron's in, guest host, as always on a Thursday. It's Happy Hour on the Nate Brown Show. Speaking of this preseason game, I got problems with this. This weekend, we got the Browns laying out the quarterbacks, and it's Joe Flacco starting.
Yep.
It's great. The hat rack. Joe Flacco, he played for us in Denver a long time ago, and we shipped him out. He couldn't even play back then. But so you got Joe. You have Dillon Gabriel second now.
Yep.
Dillon Gabriel second. So Kevin Stefanski's telling you Shedeur Sanders is third this weekend. So he's telling you he's not giving Shedeur a fair look. You understand that, right?
No.
He said, we didn't want to draft him. We're not going to give him a better look than Dillon Gabriel. That's a farce.
I'm not so sure I agree with that, Nate. For a couple of reasons. First of all, your knock on Flacco is ridiculous. The guy got them to the playoffs 2 years ago. Did we forget that? So for you to say he's so terrible,
no,
he didn't get to the.
Yeah, he did. That was a flash in the pan. That was goofy. It was bizarre. I just know he played for us with the Broncos years ago, and he was done. But that was it.
And then guys come back and they play well again. And he played well for the Browns 2 years ago. Really well.
Let's see what happens.
Well, okay, I'm not saying he's definitely going to, but the fact, and you make it like the guy's been washed up for 6 years. That's not true.
He's 40. He's a hat rack. He can sling it, but he's a hat rack. Put a little pressure on him. It's over.
I think the one thing with Shedeur is him being hurt this last week or week and a half. I think that's what hurt him the most, right? If he would have played in week 2, right, and he would have absolutely played in the second game of the preseason.
Over Dillon? He would have jumped over?
No, I think they would have let Dillon start the game. I mean, remember, they did let Shedeur start the game in preseason week 1. Okay, but I think if Shedeur would have played in week 2, he would have absolutely been a candidate at the very least to be the second guy after Flacco in this game.
You're under the assumption, you're saying the Browns are honest brokers here. You're saying Stefanski's doing, yes, it's not about Gabriel being picked in the third round and Shedeur an afterthought. I believe that's what it is. And Shedeur's got to work. He's going to be the third stringer, and watch when the season starts. He's going to be the third stringer because Kevin doesn't want to be wrong.
I think it's possible he'll be the third stringer, but I think what you saw in that first game, and I'm just speculating, I have no idea, I could be completely wrong on this one, folks. I think what you saw in that first game from Shedeur might have shown the Browns enough that they know what they have with him, right? They know his trajectory. Not to say that you can predict exactly what he will be as an NFL quarterback, but I don't think they know what they have with Dillon Gabriel. And so I think you'd rather see him in that second spot on Saturday in their last preseason game and see what you can evaluate from that. Because it was kind of mix and match in that week 2 game, right? He started the game, had a very bad pick 6, had a fumble, like a botch snap kind of thing. He did throw like 13 of 18, but it wasn't like he was great in the game.
No, 2 turnovers, but good yards.
I would rather see... I saw a lot out of Shedeur in week 1. I don't know what that means, but I'd rather give this kid another opportunity, evaluate that talent. I'm not saying that's for sure what they're doing, but I'm speculating that they want to see more out of Dillon Gabriel rather than punish Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, that's interesting, and I'm speculating they want Dillon Gabriel to be the guy because they told you he was the guy. This is the guy. We don't care what the fans wearing number 12 out there want. This is the guy, and just watch. We're going to make Shedeur, who's handling it well. He had a press conference today. He said, hey, I'm just going to learn. I'm going to sit back. I need to work on things. So everybody that says Shedur's a doofus, he's handling it well. He's being a professional. I'm telling you, the Browns are messing it up so badly. They should have Shedur in the starting spot here in about 5 weeks if they really want to be real and have a team that has some support, some hype. You got to see if Shedur's going to be the guy. Because Joe, even though you like Joe, that's not the guy. I mean, you got Joe Flacco and you got Daniel Jones getting starting nods this week. How much fun is that?
Well, that's because Richardson is terrible, and they made a huge mistake that they basically admitted now in drafting that. I think that's a completely different situation. I think with Flacco is you're trying to get these guys a handful of weeks before you send them out there, right? Plus, their schedule to start the season is brutal. You want to get these guys beat up for 5-7 weeks? Give them a chance. They'll be 1-5 or 2. They'll be 2-5, something like that.
Joe's going to take him. Come on,
Joe's not a miracle worker. I mean, come on, Nate. I mean, it'll be competitive.
Shedur might be,
but you don't. What is the point in rushing this kid in as right away, week 1? I don't get that. What does that accomplish? If you're really going to get something out of him, let's give him 5-6 weeks to sit behind, watch some film,
I'm okay.
Figure it out, and then put him out.
I'm
there.
okay with that. I think he'll get to play. Here's what I think's going to happen. They're going to let Dylan Gabriel play. They're going to let Shedur play. We're talking regular season. Forget this preseason
I completely
stuff.
agree with you. I completely agree.
They'll play them both, and then people are going to decide, right? And Kevin's going to give Dylan every chance you can get because he doesn't want to look like, well, why'd you draft Shedur so late? This was a mess up by you guys. So Dylan has the edge, and I don't think he should.
And I'm not saying he should or he shouldn't, but I think you're going to learn a lot more after Saturday's game. And if Shedur outperforms, again, it's going to be against different competition, but if Shedur outperforms Dylan Gabriel, even Stefanski's going to have a very hard time making Gabriel the number 2 quarterback.
And by the way, the Indianapolis Colts messed that up. I mean, they're giving up on Anthony Richardson like this. They're going to go with Danny Dimes, your boy. That's your boy from the Giants, who after his last playoff win is 3-13. That's your guy, and he's back? Are you kidding me?
I mean, Richardson is terrible. He is not an NFL quarterback.
Well, he's played minimal. I mean, he's had 1 year barely. He's played minimal. You can't give up this early.
What have you seen?
Colts, why don't we say the Colts look bad? I mean, they drafted this guy number 4 last year.
They should look bad. I completely agree with that statement.
Now you got Daniel Jones.
But what have you seen from Richardson that says, oh my gosh, if only he could stay healthy, I mean, I think we got something here. That's not what you've seen, right?
I mean, you have to at least let him try again. You have to let him try again. And they're scared because they're going to get fired. So they messed that up.
Well, of course. I mean, they're playing. You've got to play to win, right? And if you're putting someone out there who's a project and he's going to keep losing games for you, well, yeah, you're going to get fired.
I'm looking forward to having Daniel Jones win some games. The Colts are going to be a mess. They should have threw him out there one more time. They should have let him play one more time.
That I don't agree with.
By the way, let's get into this. I'm going to go college football. I want Rob Keighron's take. He's a big NFL guy. I want his take on college football. How is the state of college football today? Is college football in a great place? What do you say? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
25 points to qualify. Then keep playing to rack up even more entries. Fridays and Saturdays, we're drawing winners from 8 to 11:30 p.m. for $300 prize packages with a $1,000 drawing at midnight. Then on Saturday, August 30th, 10 lucky winners will draw for grand prizes. And 4 will win a cruise and a seat in the $1 million Wheel of Fortune Spin and Win slot tournament at sea. Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your night play out?
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Hope you're having a nice day, everybody. Thanks for being here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Stream us on X at Nate Brown Show right there. Welcome in. Text line is 605-720-1067. Be part of the conversation on Happy Hour with Rob Keighron, live in studio, presented by K-Pasa, downtown Rapid City, Main Street, and the Skybox right there on Main Street, right above the Firehouse. Skybox is the best sports bar in Rapid City. Mark it down. Football season headquarters is the Skybox downtown. Okay, college football's cranking up this week already. You juiced for this? A little Iowa State, Kansas State, Dublin?
Yeah, this week 0 is a little light. Sometimes you get a few good matchups. I mean, you got the Dublin game.
It's real football.
It's real football. It's, Saturday morning, 10 a.m., I'm going to be actually in a golf tournament, so I probably won't be watching. But if I wasn't in that, I absolutely would turn it on. I wish there were a good night game. Saturday night game.
Yeah.
Particularly with nothing else going on, I'd be completely into that. But yeah, for sure, regular football's back. I'm all for it.
Now, next week, you've got Texas, Ohio State.
I'm juiced for that.
You got Miami, Notre Dame.
Yep.
Later in the weekend, that Labor Day weekend. This is big. This is a big start to the college football season. Now, I've been thinking about this. I had Wyoming's athletic director on the show a couple of days ago. Had a big conversation with him. Didn't think it was going to go wild, and it has. National media picking it up for what he said on here. And he said, with the current state of college football, there will be a top 40 that breaks off.
Yep.
So he was open about this, and he said, Wyoming, we're going to be in a different spot. And there's going to be a lot of schools in a different spot. And then he threw in South Dakota State, North Dakota State, USD, the Montana schools. Could we reconfigure, and are they going to make decisions? Are we going to be essentially in the same league, was the gist of it. He said there's going to be a top 40, the Ohio States, Texas, all of that. So what do you say about the current state of college football? Where do you think Is this a good spot right now?
I mean, that is a really tough question, Nate, because so much about it, when you look at the finances of it, of course, they're in a great spot, right? I mean, the TV contracts are through the roof. I mean, there is so many eyeballs on the sets. Essentially, every game is on television somewhere, right?
Yep.
On the weekend. You can watch every big conference in FBS football, every game, every weekend, right? It's hard to say that is a bad position to be in. At the same time, it's really about the haves and the have-nots, right? I mean, there is like you said, it's only a matter of time before there's 40 that break off and everybody else are going to be left behind. But that being said, there is a space for all of those other teams because of the rabid nature of American fandom for all kinds of football. That's not going to change anytime soon.
You don't think
no.
The top 40 breaking off, getting the big TV deals, getting all of the money, that's going to be the real college football, and then the Wyomings, Colorado States, South Dakota States, that's going to be the minor league.
It will be the minor league, but it will be the minor league that still does better than some of the other professional sports.
Okay.
Because America loves football, and more specifically, and we talk about this a lot, America loves betting on football. And that isn't changing anytime soon. And so there will always be a place for those lesser teams to get real TV contracts because people are going to watch those games, right? You're going to watch those 40 teams in all of their matchups. For sure you're going to watch those. But you're also going to watch there's always this big joke on like late Saturday night. Like I remember being on the East Coast, growing up in New York City, and waiting for Hawaii to start. Right? I've lost a ton of bets today. When does that Hawaii game start? It's 1 a.m. start in New York, right? I'm gonna be bleary eyed, but I'm watching that game. Right? It's a little better here in the Midwest at 11 p.m. or at midnight if you're listening in Sioux Falls. Right? But there's always going to be that appetite to watch other games. I don't think that's changing anytime soon.
Here's the one thing I don't like, because I grew up watching Wyoming, and I went to Ohio State, I went to Colorado, I went to some big venues, and it was always about, we got to play these big teams. I went to Ohio State, there was 90,000 fans there. They went to the Rose Bowl that year. Wyoming lost by 2 touchdowns. It was a competitive game. That's like the Super Bowl thing. If you got the top 40 breaking off, are you telling me that the Washingtons, the Nebraskas, the Ohio States, they're not going to play these guys anymore?
No, they're going to play them still. They're going to
they're going to play them?
Oh, they're going to have a few bye games a year. I mean, no doubt about that, right?
That's what I'm worried about. You got your own thing. You're still going to have these games?
Oh, you still need a few of those games in your season to get your team organized, get them ready. Absolutely. The bye games are not going to go away. In fact, if anything, these teams might get a little more money. Right, there'll be more competition to go play those big teams, and you get some real cash out of that for your program. I think, if anything, that will help teams like Wyoming get those bigger games and get paid for them.
I'm worried about the logistics of it, the jurisdiction. If they have their own thing, they're not a part of the NCAA. That's what I'm worried about. They're doing their own college football playoff thing. We're here. No, we're not going to play these guys who are in the NCAA. That's not going to work. That's what I'm worried about. So we got our own thing, and it's almost like the NFL and the XFL.
If you're the AD of Ohio State, Nate, you don't want 2 or 3 games against lesser opponents to really give your team, some wins, just to build them up a bit, to work on things. You'd want to change that model, which every single program in this country still uses.
I don't know if they do.
If you were the AD, you wouldn't want to do that.
Well, you want to, but I don't know if they're going to allow that.
Well, they're going to make the rules
in the top 40, top 48.
No, I think that they will give them a little leeway for 2 or 3 games in their season to be able to do that. I'd be really surprised. Well, again, if I were the AD, why would I want to agree to something where I don't get 2 or 3 games that I get to control my schedule? You're going to do the rest. That's fine. 9 games, 10 games, whatever it is. But I want 2 or 3 of my own.
And by the way, how big would it be? I think it's big because I come from the FBS world, and I've seen the FCS, the Montana States, and now South Dakota States. What if you had a schedule for South Dakota State? You're playing Montana, Wyoming, Colorado State, Utah State. That brings some juice here.
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. And there's no reason. SDSU clearly has shown over the last few years that they are absolutely prepared for it, as NDSU is, right? Those teams are prepared to play against that kind of competition week in, week out.
Bring some new juice. We'll see when it happens. Wyoming AD said on this show this week, it is going to happen. Coming right back, wrapping up the Nate Brown Show with Happy Hour and Rob Keighron in studio. Big media announcement. I'm going to see if Rob's a cranky old guy on this coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At Ace, your backyard is right in our backyard. So when you need to feed your grass, remove the weeds, or wrangle those leaves, go to the best place that delivers on top brands like Ego, Toro, and Steel. No warehouse store can match the convenience of your locally owned neighborhood Ace. So stop on by. You can also order online for curbside pickup or get what you need delivered. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their lawn care. At participating stores.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
Attention, Rapid City. More big news from Gateway Autoplex. We are expanding our services with our brand new state-of-the-art auto repair shop located right behind our lot, 123 Omaha Street. Gateway Tire and Alignment. That's right, Rapid City. We're now your one-stop shop for everything auto-related. From routine maintenance to major repairs, our team of expert technicians has you covered. Plus, with our state-of-the-art equipment, you can trust that your vehicle is in the best possible hands. Visit Gateway Tire and Alignment and see why nobody beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight, otherwise overcast skies. Lows dip down to about 60, northerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected again tomorrow, thunderstorms likely. High of 78, partly cloudy skies tomorrow night, slight chance for storms, lows level off around 56. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 82 degrees.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. It is Thursday Happy Hour presented by Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, downtown Main Street, Rapid City. Also, our home for sports, downtown Main Street, is the Skybox, getting set for football. College football underway this weekend at the Skybox. Then, of course, you can watch all the Jackrabbit games. All of the games are on there. They'll have them at the Skybox downtown, right above the Firehouse. Fox Sports headquarters for sports is the Skybox. Rob Keighron's in tonight. Happy hour, wrap it up. By the way, we have some interesting music choices and some concerts going on. It's fair time and everything. Little John at the fair tonight. Is Rob Keighron going to be front row for that? Or
who's playing again? What's his name? No, I'm not going to be
Come
there.
on now. You know it.
I know who Little John is, but no, I not exactly the kind of music I'm looking to hang out at the fair and listening to on a Thursday evening. I'm going to miss
curious
that one.
what you would go to. What's Rob Keighron's cup of tea these days? You grab a glass of wine, and what are you, a snob? What are you going to do?
Well, I'm a snob. There's no doubt about that. Anybody who's listened to this show for a while could probably figure that out. But you know what I've been really into, and I'm not going to see them. They're only in a few places in the States. But Oasis is, has their reunion tour. I love Oasis.
Okay.
Yeah, those two brothers who can't stand each other somehow got back together. And I've watched a few of the clips from their concerts when they were in England, and it is a fun time.
Very interesting. My brother's going to a Phil Collins tribute band this weekend.
Okay.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Genesis, I guess. Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing it. Okay, let's get into this. I want to see how cranky you are. It was called on CNBC this morning, maybe the biggest day for ESPN ever. That's what the ESPN chairman said this morning. I was watching and I'm going, come on now. ESPN direct-to-consumer streaming. You get everything on ESPN. You get it all for $29.99. It's right there on your phone, on your smart TV. You got ESPN for $30 a month. Fox announced it, too, later today. Hey, we have our own thing, too. It's called Fox One. $21 a month. It's everything with Fox. And then in October, they're going to team up to have the bundle, ESPN and Fox, for $40 a month. Can you explain this?
You're not.
Am I missing it?
You will not be surprised by me saying I absolutely hate this. I absolutely hate it with a passion. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I blame everyone who's younger than you and me. Maybe our friend over here, Mr. Kearney. I mean, just everyone who's younger than us. I blame you for ruining television forever with your stupidity. I gotta save a couple bucks and cut my cord, and I don't want all these cable channels. Tough, deal with it. We had to deal with it for decades so that we can watch what we wanted. Ignore the other channels. You guys, you bums out there, you young kids, you had to cut the cord, and now you've ruined it for everyone. I mean, I have YouTube TV, you have DirecTV, and eventually it's going to come to the fact that ESPN is going to get out of all those ones and just decide they're going to do their own thing. And
I guess.
Why do I got to buy this thing plus this other thing plus this thing? I just want one thing. One thing. I'll buy them all through one package. That's the way television was for decades. I can't stand this.
Okay. I had the CEO this morning. The CEO said, we're agnostic toward linear television now. And I'm going, huh? So they think this is the ticket, the ESPN app. That's what people are going to get. And I'm sitting here, who's just getting ESPN? Don't you want to watch a little bit of news of some shows? YouTube TV has it all like you've got. I got DirecTV. Who's just getting ESPN for $30 a month?
I don't know. That's a very odd sports fan who only gets ESPN. I mean, because you'd need other things as well. I mean, there are all kinds of other services that you need as well to watch.
And games on NBC, on Peacock, on CBS.
Absolutely. To me, it's a bizarre fan who only gets this, which is why I don't like it. And because eventually they're going to force us to give up or to have whatever we use right now plus the ESPN direct-to-consumer. That's what I'm convinced. Within 3 to 5 years, it'll be, sorry, folks, we're not on YouTube TV anymore. We're not on DirecTV anymore. We're going to be, this is the only way you get us.
Well, that line from the CEO said, we're, basically don't really care much about linear TV. It's kind of like, maybe, maybe not. And they're doing their own thing. So this is a good one because Matt Kearney said, don't worry, just get the streaming. He's okay. Just get it. It's going to be fine. And Rob Keighron thinks it's a bigger conspiracy to come. We're going to be having to hop into this app and that app, and you can't just change the channel anymore.
And that's what I hate about it, Nate Brown. I can't stand the fact that I can't just flip around the channels like that stupid Amazon Prime Video on Thursday nights when I want to watch something else at the same time as the NFL game. I hate it.
Thanks for finishing strong. Rob Keighron for you, everybody. The Nate Brown Show in the books. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Save big on everything for your appliance upgrade when you shop at Menards.